All right, we're recording. Okay. First, let me just say, that is most definitely a Wes Anderson film.
Oh, absolutely. Like, without a doubt, there's, no question about it.
It's got everything. It's got everything. It's got 20th century. It's got Europe. It's got people who are just the artsy, typical metropolitan eccentrics. It is the most Wes Anderson-y Wes Anderson film Wes Anderson has ever made.
Like, this is Wes Anderson balled up in a film.
Oh, okay.
It's like if you thought every other film was like, oh yeah, that's a Wes Anderson film. No, this is a Wes Anderson in a film.
Yeah, production design that looks like it came off of a candy box. Like, yeah,
very much.
It is, everything. Camera angles. It's still very, it's. We went and saw The French Dispatch, and I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
This I don't know if this will be one of my favorites of the year, but I don't think, I'm trying to think. I really don't. I probably have not laughed this much at a movie all year, though.
I know this.
This is a very funny movie.
It's just because he is so good at getting the comedic timing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Wes Anderson comedy is very interesting. Well, here, let me go ahead and explain what the movie's about before we get into that. It's first of all, this is something a little bit different for him, and I'll tell you why. It's an anthology. Mm-hmm. That's what's different about this. It's an anthology in a way that he knows how to tell. And it's set around a fictional culture magazine, which is meant to be a parody of The New Yorker. And I know that because I get The New Yorker. And The New Yorker has been tooting their own horn for a while about this film as it's been coming out, mentioning that, it is loosely based and inspired by this very magazine you're holding right now. Like, they've done that a few times, and a couple of them, I'm like, okay, y'all can stop. Okay. But it's about this fictional cultural magazine set in
Ennui,
France. I can't remember how to pronounce it. And each story is based around what would be an article in this magazine, narrated from the point of view of the author, either them talking about it, rather than documenting it like a documentary, like the one about set during the protest with Frances McDormand, or given in like a TV interview, like the one with Jeffrey Wright about the chef that turns into it meant to be about a chef, but it soon turns into a hostage situation involving a child
and a car chase.
And all animated in a very New Yorker style. If you've ever seen like some of the artwork that comes on the cover of the New Yorker, and they kind of showed like fake versions of it at the very end, fake cover art. Scenes. It's a really funny movie, and it's a fun movie. It's let me just say, out of the 4 stories, which one was your favorite?
Let's see. I think what was my favorite? They all had stuff I liked about them. Probably the one about the artist, the prisoner artist.
I would say so too.
Probably my favorite.
I would say so too. The first one the very first one, is about what starts out as you think it's about an artist. It's played by Benicio del Toro, and it's him drawing, painting a nude woman, literally painting a nude woman, and then getting up and painting a nude woman. Played by Leia Seydoux. How do you say her name?
I do not know how to say her name.
She was in the new James Bond movie.
And she had a small part in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah,
well.
I forget how you Leia Seydoux. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce the French stuff.
Yeah, I'd probably butcher it if I tried.
But yeah, and he's a artist, or what you think is an artist, and then suddenly when they take a break, they each go and change, and you realize that she's not just his model. He's actually a prison inmate, there for murdering people and dismembering people.
Decapitating.
And she is his assigned guard. Oh gosh. And it turns into this big thing where another prisoner played by Adrian Brody, who I'm pretty sure is just playing the same character he played in Grand Budapest Hotel.
100%. I noticed that right off the bat.
This is us what happened to him after at the end of Grand Budapest.
This is a sequel for his character.
He got sent away for killing the old lady Tilda Swinton. And so basically he's like this like guy, like an art investor. I forget exactly what he is. One of these archetypes that Wes Anderson likes to use.
He's like an artist investor, but like he's like one of the typical art investor who doesn't really care about the art. He just cares about how much money he can make off of it. He
sees the thing Benicio del Toro has done made, and he wants to get him basically while he's locked up, serving basically a life in prison, getting as much of his artwork from him as he can.
Exactly, and it's like also just a huge commentary on the whole modern art thing.
Yeah,
like he shows it to his uncles, and they're just like, how is this good? Like, why is it good? Like, we don't see what he's trying to do here. Adrian Brody's just like, it doesn't matter. It's good. We gotta sell it.
Yeah, there is a great deal of satire throughout this film. You have that one, and then you have this next one, the one with Frances McDormand, where she's documenting a student protest involving Timothée Chalamet, and who is the actress playing the other girl? I don't know. Yeah. I don't reckon.
I could probably look it up right now.
I don't know who she was. I didn't quite recognize her. But then again, everybody in a Wes Anderson movie is so made up and dressed up, it's hard to recognize anybody.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay, where am I?
And even that one, it kind of seems off. That also kind of makes fun of this current climate with student protests and young people getting very politically active. Like I still don't even have any idea what they were protesting besides just generic anti-youth government. Like just kind of just like it don't really.
Which I guess
that's part of the joke. Yeah. It's aware that it doesn't really
that like the youth doesn't even know themselves like what they're protesting.
Yeah,
they're just protesting.
Yeah, it's very aware of that. It's as Bill Murray says in this. Write it like you meant to write it that way. Or what's he say? Like make sure it sounds like you meant to write it that way.
Here we Lina, I can't pronounce that last name because I know I'll butcher it.
I have no clue what she's in. I've never.
Yeah, this is my first time seeing her.
But yeah, and then it opens. Yeah, and then you have the third one, which is the Jeffrey Wright, where Jeffrey Wright is sent to basically just do a basic story on a chef who worked for the French police commissioner, and the commissioner's son ends up getting kidnapped by Edward Norton
in like the very cartoonishly villain way where he comes down with the cord and he's just like
creeping, it steals this child, and then it's animated, and then and it ends up with like a standoff at the end. Oh gosh, there was some Wes Anderson, he is probably one of the best people behind like physical comedy. Like that hasn't been done in years. Like he has this he's like a combination of like the just them like surreal farces that Woody Allen did early in his career, like Love and Death and Sleeper, mixed with like Three Stooges. Like
exactly.
Nobody makes movies like Wes Anderson does, and that's what I really, really enjoy about what he does. Because Wes Anderson is kind of like the anchovy pizza of film directors.
Right.
People who like his movies, like me and you, love his movies. People who don't like his movies, they watch maybe one, maybe two, and they never want to see another one of these things again because they are obnoxious and hipstery and dry sometimes, and they're very self-indulgent a lot of times. But
very much.
And so he's very polarized. Some people who just love Wes Anderson, they go and like Wes Anderson movies are made for Wes Anderson fans specifically. Yeah, and I enjoyed this. Like, if you're not a big Wes Anderson fan, this is not going to change your mind about him. In fact, this will just make you want to stay away from his stuff even more. But
if you love it,
if you like it, like I do, I've loved all of his movies.
Like Grand Budapest ranks in my top 20.
Like all-time movies.
All time.
Oh yeah, I did love. That was one of my favorites of that year. I would say, my favorite Wes Anderson movie is Royal Tenenbaums.
I still need to see that one.
Oh, I like that one a lot. That's one that actually, it's not just a great Wes Anderson film, it's a great family. It's a great movie about family dysfunction and emotional trauma. And it's definitely one that really has like, it really has like a real emotional core to it, which is something that I think a lot of people, even people who generally like his movies, have kind of felt that he needs to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's kind of gotten to the point where, I would admit this, he has kind of gotten to the point where he's very reliant on his little quirks and doesn't really care so much about writing a very deep story. Last time I felt he really wrote like a really deep story was Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah.
I like Moonrise Kingdom a lot.
I did too.
But even like Grand Budapest, was very funny. It was a great film. I loved it. It's not really memorable for like themes or anything though.
Yeah, there isn't like any core theme to it. There is emotion to it.
Yeah, I would say
but there's
that.
not really
There's the connection,
theme per se.
the connection between him and the lobby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those like feel good movies.
Yeah.
It makes like it's comedic, but then you also like feel things.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this movie. I'm trying to think there's something else like specific about it.
I lost my shit at the wheelchair
chase scene.
when Benicio del Toro's chasing Adrian Brody in the wheelchair with the trying to kill him with the paint.
I want to see it again just to see what lines, because I know I laughed so much at this, and I've already feel like I've forgotten some of the lines, even though I know they made me laugh. I want to see it again just to see which parts I really liked.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and gosh, even like the short opening sequence, Owen Wilson's character's story, that just had so many little things. Like
it was the number of bodies they pulled from the river.
And the altar boys jacked up on the blood of Christ going after
old ladies
petitioners.
as they walk out of the church.
And then they attack him while he's just on his bike, and he goes behind the thing.
Oh, that was fun.
Bang, and just his bike comes out.
Yeah, well, he's like, there's the one scene where he's literally like addressing the camera, and he's got it, and Owen Wilson, he's holding onto like a dump truck, and he's like,
falls down the metro.
And he's sitting there like, yeah, and he's like, the truck, as bad as vehicles are, polluting the environment and all those others, yada yada. That, the one good thing is, and then he like, you just see him vanish, and there's like just a shot of what's very obviously the side of the entrance to the subway. Oh gosh. This movie was a joy. This is a real joy.
And visually too, like
yeah.
as Wes Anderson's movies are always visually good, but this one even more so, I feel, just because it had a lot of stage-like features. Like it felt like in parts, especially during the student protest story, it felt like you were watching a stage play take place, with how they would like move out the walls during a scene and put like little backgrounds in.
Yeah. There's well, the only weakness of this film, and it's the problem I have with a lot of anthologies, is the problem I had with The Ballad of Buster Suggs, which was the Coen Brothers anthology film that they made on Netflix a few years ago. Is that the problem with an anthology is they're only as strong as I guess you would say they're only as strong as their weakest link. But also the problem is they're also only as strong. They're also better if they're also like if all the pieces are consistently good. And this is kind of got the same problem I have with Ballad of Buster Suggs. I don't know if you saw that one, but they saved the best for first, and it kind of outshines the rest of them. Not as high as I felt Ballad of Buster Suggs did, though. I did really like Ballad of Buster Suggs, but that one, there was definitely, like, the later ones where I just definitely felt weren't as good as, like, the very opening one, which was, like, this comedy western.
Right.
These were also still very good, though. Like, the two, like, the student protest thing and the thing with the chef/kidnapping. I didn't love those as much as I was really liking the thing with the prison. They were still very good because they were very funny.
Oh, yeah.
And I was very entertained by this movie.
I love that. I absolutely adored the animated part of the final story.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, the Olympian, like, strongman guy.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I guess that's really all we have to say about it. This was a very
There's very little I would say negative about it.
Yeah, they're not it's the only negative thing you could say is if you're just not a Wes Anderson film, if his stuff just irritates you, then yeah, just this will not. Then this is going to be more of the same to the max. It's going to be double that. I really like this. I'd give it probably 3.5 out of 4.
I'd say same 3.5 out of 4.
It's not I don't love it as much as like Grand Budapest or Rushmore or Royal Tenenbaums, because those I definitely felt more of a connection to character and felt there was deeper meaning to it. This one was very good though. I did like this one a lot. So I guess if we want to just do head to trailers now.
Yeah, I actually almost forgot what trailers.
We got a lot of them. We got like 5 of them. First one was an A24 film. I'm really interested in seeing this. Come on, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Definitely, it looked like it's a coming of age story.
I don't know what it is, but let me tell you, the minute it's got Joaquin Phoenix just emotionally reading this story to a child, I'm like, okay.
This is going to be like a bunch of like heartstrings getting pulled.
It's by the guy who wrote and directed 20th Century Women with Annette Bening a few years ago, which I thought was just beautiful. I hate that she didn't win an Oscar for that movie. I can't even remember. Was she actually even nominated? I can't even remember.
I don't remember if I ever saw that during that
year. It was really good. I like that a lot. It's by the guy who made that movie, and yeah, A24, if it's got A24, Joaquin Phoenix, a really good screenwriter / director, yeah, I'm definitely down for seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Flea.
Yeah, I remember when they first, showed, the first sequences of that trailer, it gave me Kite Runner vibes. I know this is, probably a memoir that happened during the same time as Kite Runner.
It even says in the trailer that, it's about I'd only recently heard about this film because I think it played at either the Toronto Film Festival or the Venice or Cannes or maybe all of them. I can't quite remember. I know I've heard about this a few times. And, it's a true story about I forget what country he was from.
I'm trying to remember because I know it's probably the same place as where Kite Runner took place.
Maybe Palestine?
Either Palestine or...
It was. I think he's obviously Middle Eastern, right? Or maybe from somewhere in Ukraine or something.
Let me.
If you want to look up Flea really quick, because I know I've heard about this, and I just can't remember exactly what.
It's either Palestine, Iran, or. No, I don't. I am not looking for the definition. Damn it, Google.
Flea. No, I'm not looking for the definition. No, I'm not looking for the insect. Flea. No, I'm not looking for the guitar player either.
Exactly. Let's see here. Fleeing his country does not say which country.
All right, we'll just come back to it. All right, we'll come.
But I feel like it is from the same place where Kite Runner took place.
It definitely,
And Kite Runner took place in...
It's animated, and it reminds me of the style of Waltz with Bashir, which was set in Israel.
Okay, District of Kabul.
Okay, so he's from
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess so.
Yes, Afghanistan.
Okay.
I feel so bad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, especially with everything going on right now.
Yeah.
I felt like I should have known that too.
Yeah, the minute I saw the kites, I knew this was probably going to be the same place that Kite Runner took place. So yeah. Yeah. So
it looks interesting. It looks like it. It looks like it would probably be that one every year they do the one when the Oscars roll around. They always have the one adult film that they nominate for Best Animated Feature. Yeah. This will probably be that one.
And if I knew anything from stories that have come out of that situation, I know this one's probably going to hurt really bad. Because Kite Runner hurt me really bad.
And I'm interested in seeing this one because I have to admit this has been a pretty weak year for animation. Best animated film I've seen all year has been Raya and the Last Dragon, and that one was just okay, in my opinion. I did not like Luca, the Pixar film they did this year. Yeah. I did not like Luca.
I haven't really caught up much on my Disney or Pixar animated films recently, just because I've kind of, I don't know, I guess I've kind of dropped off of them. Like, not that I don't think that any of them are good or capable of being good anymore, especially Pixar, but I don't know, the last animated feature I saw from Disney or Pixar was Soul. Which was good. Which was really good. But it's just, I don't know, I guess my interests have just kind of waned elsewhere.
Luca just felt so generic. Luca was just Pixar just phoning it in. And that's disappointing. Pixar shouldn't. Yeah. Pixar is at that level. You're too overqualified to phone it in. Despicable, Illumination can phone it in.
Yeah.
Because they've never tried to be ambitious.
I'm kind of willing to give Pixar a pass because the pandemic was just kind of shit to everyone this year. And, like, a lot of films benefited, a lot of films suffered.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Then the Mitchells versus the Machines, that was okay. There hasn't been a great lineup. Although I do want to see Encanto. You and I, if there's nothing else major coming out that we have to feel like, oh, this might be really great to see. You and I can do Encanto. I think that comes out Thanksgiving weekend. You and I can maybe try to get that.
I will say I might not be able to do it Thanksgiving weekend just because I have friends.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if maybe it comes out the weekend before. We can maybe try to get it in before the holiday. If not, we'll catch up the next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did. Yeah. So what we had. Flea. We had. Come on. Julia, the documentary about Julia Child. The Bob Ross of cooking.
You know, before we get into that, one other thing I wanted to say about this movie in terms of the chef portion, I'm hoping to see a Binging with Babish episode where he recreates all of the things that they listed on there.
Yeah, when he's given the full lineup of the meal that he's
exactly. Binging with Babish, I am expecting that video. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, Julia Childs. They've got a documentary about her, about how she was she went to France, to be a spy, according to the trailer?
I think she said she wanted to be a spy, but, it's nothing she actually seriously went through
and then
with.
When
but
she
was going there because I think her husband had a government, or a political position over there, I think as an ambassador.
Yeah.
And during that time when she was living there, she wanted to get involved. And this is, what I'm saying right now is mostly going off the trailer. Julia and Julie.
Oh, Julia and Julie. Oh, with Meryl Streep. I forgot about that movie.
Meryl Streep. Yeah. That's basically what I have to go off with, so it might not be accurate.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then she wanted to get into cooking, so she went to this cooking school, which I think first they tried to put her in with where all the women were cooking, where they were doing very basic housewifey.
Yeah, because they even mentioned that in this. They're like, you're the window. The women were the window display of the cooking world.
Exactly, and then she wanted to be serious. She wanted to be where all the men were.
Yeah,
and again, my knowledge of this is entirely based off of that movie with Meryl Streep and Amy Adams, and I think it was Amy Adams. Where, her first lesson was to, cut an onion right. She didn't get it right, and, she kind of got, punched around by the guys for it. So she, really put her dedication to it, to be the best in that class out of all those men.
Yeah. And then they even mentioned in this trailer for this movie that she was women weren't in the cooking world, much less teaching it. So because then she got her show where she would show you how to cook. And the biggest shock and surprise I got out of this trailer was the part when they talk about her 3 F's about dealing with a man, where she says you deal with a man with 3 F's. You feed the man, you flatter the man, and then you fuck the man. And I'm like, that was funny, but I'm like, now I'm envisioning Julia Childs railing some dude. I'm like, don't think.
Well, apparently she had a really great relationship with her husband too, so maybe there was some truth to it.
I guess so. What were the other 2 we got?
Up to that, I forgot.
Julia. Oh gosh.
There's 2 more.
Yeah, we got a lot of trailers of this one. Oh, gosh.
Was it ones that we already seen before or ones that we hadn't seen before?
Oh, Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley, which we've seen. Still excited.
I am very excited to see that. That'll be cool to see.
Mm-hmm. The whole, dark, gloomy, evil-looking circus aesthetic already pulls me in because I fucking love that shit so much.
Guillermo del Toro, and he's another one. I've literally liked just about everything I've ever seen. Crimson Peak is the only movie that I just was bored to tears on by him, but I mean, Shape of Water was a new high for him after he won Best. I was so glad he won Best Picture for that. I really loved Shape of Water. Gosh, what was the other one? There was something before Nightmare Alley, after Julia, before Nightmare Alley, and I can't remember what it was. I almost need to write these down. I need to maybe pop my phone out sometimes and get some of these, because I do sometimes have.
Because I can't remember if it was something we had already seen or if it was something new. And that is where the problem lies. Is that I can't remember.
It's something maybe coming out this year, because I feel like a lot of these were stuff coming out of the festival circuit.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't remember it.
I'm just glad we didn't get an advertisement for Wolf. Have you watched that trailer?
Wolf. Oh God! You were telling me about this. I do not want to see that.
Did you watch the trailer?
No. I don't plan
if you're looking for a laugh, I'd say watch it. But oh my God, it is so Twilight-y meets. It's like Twilight meets Tumblr. Yeah. And I don't like it's. I was telling about it with my friend because one of them is a furry. Which this is not. This is otherkin. Mm-hmm. But she looked at it and she's like, "The fuck is this? The fuck is this shit?"
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yep. They're. We can't. I guess they just can't. They can't all be Jordan Peele's, can they?
No, they can't all be Jordan. Well, and this I think came out of the Toronto International Film Festival too, which I'm a little surprised. I think it is based on a young adult novel, which is already the first problem with it. Not many young adult content films or TV shows are usually that good. Yeah. Or, pay much mind to actually being sensitive to certain things. Yeah. Well, I think that's actually all I have to say. It's a young adult one, and I am not excited about it.
Yeah. I guess, I don't want to sit here and spend 20 minutes trying to remember just a trailer, but I guess we'll go ahead and sign off here. I guess the next thing we want to see is maybe Belfast, if that comes out.
Yeah, Belfast.
Okay, we'll do Belfast then. All right.
And let me actually see when that one...
All right. You can look that up. I'll go ahead and sign off here. Yeah. All right. See you next time.